Okay. No, I cannot hear you. Let me try again. I don't know.
How about now? So you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. So Iggy will come back. Oh, um, it's a rough day Monday, I tell you. It's a rough day. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank y'all for coming out and dealing with me. We'll discuss music today. After Ignacio goes crazy trying to fix an issue that was my fault. But a lot of good stuff. It's been a while since we've been on. And Ignacio, it was my fault.
Yeah, I just saw that. Now, can you hear me?
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you
you now.
fine. I can hear you fine.
Okay, okay. What
Yeah,
was it?
yeah. So there now you know what that means. It harkens back to an earlier episode. Uh, we are not circumstances. We are not. I am not that silky voiced, smooth editing guy. I'm just here as the face of the operation. I'm not the brains. Yeah, you know what it was? We had a Zoom meeting. This morning. I had to run, so I was muting through my microphone, and I forgot I left it on. So my apologies. My apologies.
Hey, things happen, man. I
Yeah,
always go to the default that I'm the one with the issue because it's usually me. So
yeah.
there was no way we could figure that out quickly. So,
But
hello, people.
while I'm kissing Ignacio's ass, trying to beg for forgiveness, let's listen to the intro.
Oh, come on.
Fuck, you guys already saw it? Let me see it. Oh! Shit! How you doing? Yeah! Yeah! Happened with these, and I do not know what the grade is yet, so we are going to find out together. Most likely a 9.8, but man, fingers crossed that it hits one of those higher numbers as well. So let's see. You get to see before I do. Let's see. Oh, yes! Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Yes! You about to get plugged?
You're about to get blood.
I feel like I'm plugged already.
Well,
Too
you plugged yourself.
too plugged. Too plugged. Um.
Too plugged, too furious.
Hold on. Let me write that one down. I'm gonna write that one down. Two plugs. Too furious.
Oh, speaking of plugs, I saw I think this is the first time I noticed that Chip's mug on the intro is Dale's. Tales of Suspense. And tonight, in the hot seat with the usual suspects, is none other than Dale. So
Yeah.
maybe I was paying attention today. I don't know.
I was gonna save that for later, but since we're here, we'll get it out of the way. There it is. The guy Dale tonight. Where I think the last guest was you, wasn't it, Ignacio?
Yep, that's right.
It was a good
I
time.
think I had a great time. I'm glad you were there to hold my hand.
Yeah.
uh, I think that's the last thing I did on the community streams
Yeah, because
because
no whack this weekend, no whack this past Tuesday.
no, we've been having certain issues, and the other day Lee had some internet connectivity problem, so we had to call it off. And we have been finding some trouble scheduling the videos for the WAC cards. Well, the fact that I have COVID and the rest of the family has COVID made it a little more difficult.
Yes, COVID has reared its ugly head again.
How there?
Speaking of which, Chip, we hope you feel better soon. Even though I firmly believe it was a pregnancy test, not a COVID test he was showing. I blame that on Remy again. I blamed it on Remy last night on Chris's show. So he's notorious for doing that. Remy just causes positive pregnancy tests wherever he goes. So.
Oh, I thought Panda did that.
Yeah, he's guilty too.
No, okay. How's the COVID situation in your side of the globe?
It's a lot better now. It is very unfortunate timing. I don't know. I guess that week it was just God trying to tell me he didn't want me to go to North Carolina to have a good time.
Yeah.
Between my car issues and then my wife had been knocked on her butt for the third time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this one was a little bit more severe. She was knocked on her butt, so I had to make sure everything was cool in the house. She was only out for a couple days, but that Saturday I tried to look for flights, but they were like late afternoon and everybody was leaving early the next day, so c'est la vie.
Yeah.
C'est la vie. How about your house? You guys have been struck again.
Yeah, we have been struck again. We didn't realize it was COVID until a couple of days ago when my stepson and my wife, late in the progress of the disease, lost their sense of taste and smell.
Yeah, that's how I realized. Just one of those things. I realized the first time I thought I had a cold, like it wasn't severe or anything. I was like, oh shit, I can't taste anything all of a sudden.
Yeah, we were talking the other day. It's like the new seasonal flu, basically, because.
Yep, as long as it stays mild, we can deal. But just bad timing. So I hope for everybody who's involved, they're afflicted right now by it, that a quick, full recovery comes about. But speaking of tasting what's around, let's say hello to the chat.
Let's do that.
Always hello, James. Mr. James. Legion of Comics. I'm surprised with all the exchanges of bodily fluid that he did over the weekend that he's been safe and sound, but I wouldn't wish that on him. Endure the silence. Hardly ever.
Yeah.
Comics.
Hard to believe.
Mr. Brian, thank you very much for the CBCA stickers I got yesterday. It was an awesome surprise. Thank you so much. They can only do harm. Good song. Maybe we'll glance over that one today too. And yes, the party can start because Chop and Drop 2013 is here. Let's see. Brother John had a great recap the other night with his brother Jim, discussing what went on. I'm sorry I missed that one, but that's it. We're caught up. We will quickly flash that one. Maybe. What else was there? There was some more promo for later on, but
okay.
All right. Yeah.
So let's start the journey. What's the first thing that the first song or maybe the first album that made you change? Because let me preface this with my own experience. I had a musical background from my family, but then one day I heard a song and that made me change my view on music, and that gave me my own path. So what was yours, if there's the same thing for you?
There wasn't any musical in the family, in my family. Growing up for me, I grew up at like the tail end of disco. So I remember a couple of different songs, Donna Summer. There was one album cover, and I'll show it now, that I guess in Latin households, and I don't know if it's Puerto Rican households that do it primarily, but there was this album cover.
Never seen it.
For me, and just hearing this throughout my Puerto Rican grandmother's house, we can discuss that because that's a good song too. This is not a love song. Just the songs on this album and the album cover alone, you can tell it's kind of fake.
Yeah, can I ask you something? This is the version you had when you were growing up?
This is the version in my grandmother's house. Or it
Okay, because
might have been my father's album. I don't remember.
I think that that's not the clothing the girl is wearing in that cover
This
originally.
this might have been before the advent of Photoshop. I think those might be markers and an eraser that album cover. Yeah, but I guess the first real song that really hooked me and on my musical journey was a song called Planet Rock by African Bambaataa.
Mhm.
And this was playing during, I think it was either 5th or 6th grade for me. So 1984, 1985. And just what the advent of hip hop music really got it going for me. Yep. See, so that's what it was. Tyler, is that how it goes? I don't want to.
We will get a claim, man, a copyright claim. You're
Yeah.
on
But ever since then, I mean, I've always loved music. Always, like it's always in my car. I used to fall asleep to it all the time. You know, through my early Romeo days, you know, there's always that mixtape or that tape you want to play with before certain activities are held
or
to
during.
sustain them, or yeah. So even now, it's like on my favorites playlist on iTunes, there's probably 3,000 or 4,000 songs. And on any and every car trip, I'll hit forward till I just find that one song. My family hates it.
Of
But
course, there's always a better way to do that.
no, I'm just like, nope. But they subject me to popular music, you know, the same 7 songs over and over and over and over again on the radio.
Oh, not even a top 40. No, 7.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, I don't, if I didn't have a family, I wouldn't know who Lizzo was or Lotto, or it's just all that junk here.
Well, it's global.
You call me Nicky.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, there were a couple of songs around that time. There was Jam on It. There was that Blondie song, Rapture, talking about Fab Five Freddy. And I guess growing up in New York at that time, where everything was just growing up, it was a good time to be there. But how about you? You said you had musical influence in your family.
Yeah, I had musical influence in my family. My dad was a frustrated pianist, so he loved classical music,
Mhm.
and that stayed with me. I love classical music still to this day. Uh, and my mom is a guitar teacher since she
Oh.
was 15, but she never did anything with it. So she had a wider range of musical influences. And the other day I realized that I know a lot of Carpenters music songs. I didn't know it was the Carpenters until I heard it again recently.
Mm.
But with my mom, well, there was more uh, a wide variety, a lot of more popular music, some a lot of Spanish
Mm.
uh, singer-songwriters, Serrat, Sabina, a lot of Latin singers like Luis Miguel. I
Mm.
know you know that one.
Victor Manuel.
And then, well, I think that the craziest thing my mom heard when I was growing up was maybe Genesis
Oh.
or maybe the Beatles and the Stones. Not the Stones, not the Stones. That was my brother. But then one day, like I have a friend. We grew up together. Our moms were high school classmates, so we knew each other since we were born, and we listened to a lot of national music. And then one day, I don't know who gave it to him, but someone gave him the Power Slave Iron Maiden cassette. We were like, I don't know, 11, 12,
Mm.
and we played that thing, and I get goosebumps. The first song on that cassette was 2 minutes till midnight,
Oh.
and that song changed everything for me. I'm not an Iron Maiden guy. I like Iron Maiden, but I'm not a fan. I
Mm.
just like it. But that song, the introduced me to distortion, to metal, to uh, rage in music. You know, because up
Mm.
until that point, it was all lovey-dovey music. You know, or maybe something that I didn't understand in the subtext of the music. Maybe there are some songs that are sexier, but and I didn't at 11 I didn't know shit about English, but the power of the music is that it's a universal language. You don't need to understand the lyric to connect with it. So that was like 12, and then from then on we basically started diving into other genres of music, and then we found grunge,
Mm.
and but always there was always a distortion there. I'm not a hip hop guy, a rap guy. I
Mm.
I have heard a lot of it, but it's not my preferred genre.
Yeah, and I guess while we switch back and forth, I'd like to hear what the chat's favorite songs are. Something that's
Bring
maybe
it on.
not out of the mainstream. Um, it's funny because up until 15 years old, like between 11 and 15, it was all about hip hop music for me. But hip hop back then was, like I said, it started with African Bambaataa, Sugar Hill Gang. Then it was all about Run DMC. That started it all. Run DMC, a local group called the Fat Boys, who was originally like the Disco Three, and they changed their name, but they were local groups that somehow made it onto the radio and were big. They're legends now. But around the time I was like 15, my parents started having trouble, and it was like that period of my life. It was like I was woken up in the middle of the night saying, "Come on, we're going, we're going."
Mm.
that kind of awakened the rage in me.
Yeah.
So from like around 15, I was big into U2. And that was the Joshua Tree album, and I still haven't found what
Yeah.
I'm looking for. So that album, like, it was repeat, 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 along with the Beastie Boys' second album, License to Ill,
You
was just
communicate. Oh,
because you count Cookie Puss as the first one. Repeat, 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 repeat. And then one day, watching MTV, I saw the video for Metallica's One. And just to hear that guitar solo, like now, yeah, you say it's goosebumps, but
yeah.
it's like, for me, it's like I'm automatically getting
Yeah.
angry.
Anger. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And still, to me, when I hear that song in the car, it's 30 miles above the speed limit. So
And the video clip for that song, for that, it's a hard one.
SOS, help me. Yeah, and I loved that. And prior to that, like, my only introduction to rock music was like Twisted Sister, like the hair metal bands. I used to go to my cousin's house. They used to play stuff like AC/DC. I got big balls, and I was like, oh, they said balls. They said balls. But that one song changed everything for me. And then from there, it like you said, it goes from Metallica, and you kind of want to listen to other things also. But then the grunge thing hit, Pearl Jam, Nirvana. I got into a band called Clutch.
Yeah.
Rage
Great
Against,
band.
Rage Against the Machine for me is still a killer.
Yeah.
And this one, Radiohead, for me, by far, one of those albums I can just put on. Like, my favorite song by them is Weird Fishes Arpeggi by them. And that's just one of those things I'm singing at the top of my lungs, but just weird how it changes instantly when you hear one thing or another.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of music, it instantly transports you to any place, whatever. For example, for me, there's a song I used to listen every time I went back from my dad's house in the car while my father was battling cancer. Every time I left him at his place, because there was a period of 3 months that I was constantly with him. Every time I left him at his place and went back to my house, I listened to Cemetery Gates by Pantera. It was some like a torture thing, and that song still takes me to that situation. But for me, it also is, music is community too, because at first, my friend Sebastian, we were growing up together, and we were experiencing the same kind of music together. And then when I started high school, around 13, I made another friend that is my friend to this day, is my only friend from high school. And he's a music nerd. And he listens to, I don't know how he does it, but he listens to a lot of music that I don't know how he finds the time. And he gave me an education on music that I didn't know at all. Old music that I like Zeppelin, like AC/DC, music that I hadn't had been exposed to. And I remember one thing that changed how I view life as a whole, because we were, I don't know, like 17, 18, and we were at his house a couple of friends, of a couple of schoolmates, and we were talking, listening to music. This is from a time when you would gather around a sound system to listen to the latest album, all in silence, and during, I don't know, the duration of the record. But we were talking afterwards, and he has an encyclopedic knowledge. And he was talking to me about, I don't know, Mark Lanigan, or he was naming people. And okay, and I always said yes to whatever he said. Okay, so this young dude, whatever. And he said, oh, and I answered yes, okay. But then another dude asked me, hey, he keeps dropping names and you keep saying yes. Do you even know who he's talking about? And I had to come clean and say, I don't know who he's talking about. And that
Mark Lanigan from the Screaming Trees, by the way.
exactly. And that changed my stance on things, because I was not owning my ignorance. And that shame of not knowing who Mark Lanigan was brought me to a different point of view. And from that moment on, if I don't know something, I just say I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess when you're going through the years, you don't want to listen. You don't want to say you listen to stuff because it's not cool, or something like that.
Yeah, that happened with Depeche Mode at some point in my life. There was no one else. Depeche Mode was one of the things my mom used to listen to.
Mm.
But I was in the indie underground music scene for a while, and there was no one in the circle of friends that listened to Depeche Mode. So I was not able to share it, and I was kind of ashamed to share it because Depeche Mode was kind of pop, and we were hardcore people, metal people. But then a new bass player entered one of the bands, and he was a fan of Depeche Mode. And then suddenly he started talking Depeche Mode, I started talking Depeche Mode, and then the drummer also listened to Depeche Mode, but we had never talked about it.
So the walls are broken down.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I've had those experiences. There was a time in my life that I would never say that I went to the opera. But as an older man, I went to the opera. I've loved it. A few years back, I took the wife and I went to go see Andrea Bocelli. And it was transcendent to hear that man sing. And even now, I mean, everybody knows Con te partiro, and there's no way you don't feel something when you hear that song. Yeah. And to hear that guy sing it, forget it.
Okay, for me, it was from my father's side. There's I don't know where it is. I think it's in the Colosseum, or no, it's the Parthenon. I don't know, but three opera singers: Pavarotti, Carreras, and I don't know the other one. I don't remember.
Wasn't it Bocelli also the three tenors?
No, Bocelli. The three tenors, but Bocelli was not in the scene yet. I'm talking early '90s.
Yeah, I remember that album, that big tour.
Yeah, and my dad would put that on repeat all the time.
Oh, Placido Domingo.
There you go. Thank you, Nick.
That
and that was one of the things that my dad left me with. That is the part of the opera part of classical music and the musicals. My mom took me to a couple of musicals when we were growing up, and I still from time to time listen to the recordings of Dracula the musical. That was mind blowing. And I don't watch or go to a lot of musicals, but I enjoy them. I think that's because I grew up on musicals, child's musicals with Disney, because every fucking Disney movie is a musical. So up until, I don't know, Tarzan, and it's kind of a musical, but Tarzan doesn't sing. But
Meet Tarzan.
yeah,
Yeah, and musicals, like Broadway musicals, have never been my thing. But there's something about the opera, I guess maybe the history behind it, or just the feelings evoked by it. Like for me, that's always been a thing. And it's the same way about classical music too. It's like, you hear these songs a billion times in your life.
yeah.
Aside from Fur Elise, you don't know the names of 90% of them. So
Yeah, the other day I was listening to famous classical music that we have been exposed to because of cartoons,
Mhm.
and I realized, oh, okay, there's a lot of, well, Gardel is not Crazy Chaos is asking about tango. Tango is an acquired taste because for me, tango was my grandfather music, and it was kind of old people music, but really old people. And the
Not-
one that made me understand or enjoy tango, it's a very, oh, speaking of Crazy Chaos and Poland, it's El Polaco Goyeneche. He's a singer that has so much emotion when he sings that he basically dragged me into the world of tango when I heard him for the first time. And then I went a little more into the world of tango, mostly the route of Astor Piazzolla, that is a local musician that went into become famous worldwide. And that's the name that I put my son. I named my son Astor because of Astor Piazzolla. He did kind of fusion tango, and he experimented with time signatures with his orchestra. He did different arrangements than the ones people were used to in tango. He kind of revolutionized the scene basically. So yes, tango is it's inherent in the in the environment here in Argentina. It's like the popular music here, at least in the cities. If you go to the inner side, the inner workings of the music in other places, maybe the folkloric music is more prevalent than tango, because in the interior of the country there's more exposure to that kind of music. I don't really enjoy it a lot. There are some great ones like Mercedes Sosa that it's because of their voice that you consume a certain kind of music that you probably wouldn't if you hadn't heard them. Mercedes Sosa is one of them. She had a very particular voice, and one of those people that can sing and totally get to you with their voice.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard much tango music aside from like the movie stuff. Stuff like, I guess, flamenco guitar. Is that what I'm thinking of?
That's another kind of popular music, but from Spain. Mostly. It's more upbeat flamenco. It's more for dancing, more sensual. But well, tango became that. But the tango that I like is the one that comes from the lower parts. You know.
The seedier parts. Yeah, and for me, I don't care where it comes from. There's not much music that I don't like. Like even from when Elijah was growing up, if a particular cartoon or something had good music, I was hooked. I was hooked. And that stuff is still like, and I'll show you. I wonder if I can show it now. I'll show you my iTunes playlist.
Okay. Yeah, you have a point there, Chris, with the tango singers being associated to people from the Rat Pack. That kind of vibe, you know. There's a culture of tango in the arrabal that is the city part of the society, that they have their own slang called lunfardo, and they were malevos, they were gangsters, you know. They would have knife fights, and then it all becomes part of the mystique, you know.
So what's funny is I'll rate all my songs. This is a new iTunes build, but a few weeks back, Louis had his Pitch Perfect show, and I was on it
Yes.
along with Lynx and Roscoe, and it was such a good time that I started building. I keep clicking on my wrong. That I keep thinking of songs just to put on that show.
I totally get it, because I do the same. Not like you do, but I think of songs that I would like to sing in that show, but I cannot do it because it's too late for me to be singing. But I would totally do it.
Yeah, and it's just, again, that was one of those things that kind of, you know, we all talk about comics, and I guess we go off, you know, comics are here, and then the tangents of what we might like and what we might link up on, you know, are different things. And that was, I guess, the music too is one of those things that banded us together. But again, I'm going through this now, and there's I'm just scrolling through as fast as I can. And I'm not even a quarter of the way there yet. Now, the Dave Matthews Band too, and I found out Roscoe was a big fan. For me, it was one of those bands that I tied it to a time in my life. Yeah. And happening to go see them live was just like one of those transcendent things that happened to me. And I've since seen him, I think 17 or 18 times.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes by myself. But I guess since COVID, it's fallen out a bit more because it's so expensive to go now. And honestly, everything here in Texas is like you have to be outside. I don't want to be outside during, 95, 100-degree heat.
Yeah, I get it.
So look, and now we're halfway through. I'm telling you, there's like probably 9 or 10,000 songs here.
Were you a record collector when you were growing up? A CD collector, a cassette collector?
I was a CD collector, yes. Yeah, bootleg. I was very happy for LimeWire, stuff like that. Because I would just drop it, and then when there wasn't stuff available for download or whatever, I actually hold a tape deck up to the TV speaker just to listen to that. So,
well, I remember you talking about U2, and that was my first big. I think it was my first real concert. We were 15 or 14 with my friend Sebastian. We won tickets to go see U2 on the radio. From the time where I don't know if it happens today still, but I think so. But we were, I don't know, 14, 15, and we won 3 tickets. And we were, okay, let's do this. We have 3 tickets to go see you too. Okay, but it's in another city. We have to travel 400 kilometers. And none of our parents could take us there.
Mhm.
And we had an extra ticket for one of them, but they couldn't do it. So they trust us. So we went alone. And we were, uh, it was mind blowing because we were 14. We were, I think, traveling for the first time alone a while, a long trip. And then we entered for the first time to a music show, and it was the Pop Mart tour, and it was a huge display of pyrotechnics, screens. You two were like all in on that show,
Yeah.
and it was my first time experiencing the energy of the people watching the show, the stadium rocking all in as at once. The And it was a huge stadium. It was the River Plate Stadium. It's a football stadium, a
Mhm.
soccer stadium, and it's the one of the biggest here. You have Boca and you have River, and River is one of the biggest. And that that also changed my mind. When we came back from there, we basically started going concerts every time we could. And that's how we entered the indie music scene
Mm.
here in the city and then in the country. Uh, and it was, I mean, it was all uh, a huge experience, because we were little teens, but we thought we had a lot of experience since we had gone alone to a huge show. And then we started going alone to music shows near our houses. There was a place that was uh, pretty big in the music scene in the city, and we would go alone. The first times, my my aunt took us there, and she basically talked to the owner and asked him if we could go alone, and then we started going alone.
It's like
I
a
mean, it
golden.
was 95, 96. There wasn't a lot of trouble there with the time in which you could stay out. Then it all changed, but we got to enjoy that.
Yeah, and I was upset. Like you two avoided me for a while. I was finally able to see them 5 years ago,
Oh wow.
but I was lucky and unlucky in one regard. Lucky in the fact that it was the 20th anniversary of the Joshua Tree, or 30th.
There,
I
yeah.
hope it wasn't the 30th. 88, 98, 08. Yeah, probably 30th.
Yep.
Um, so I got to see that whole album played from top to bottom, which was awesome. Which I don't think I would have ever seen most of those songs that I loved played before, because it's always a crapshoot of what you hear and see.
Yeah.
But also at that time, Bono's voice is not Bono's voice anymore.
Yeah. Well.
But I was super stoked to see them. Super happy to see them. And I just wish now that it was just easier to get a ticket and a little bit more comfortable for the old man to see shows. Because that's what I miss, I guess, being here in Texas. They do have one of the biggest festivals here in South by Southwest.
South by Southwest. Yeah.
But traveling down to Austin is just, it's such a miserable experience. Such a miserable experience. And stars don't really come here. That they'll announce somebody big, and they're like, all right. They'll announce today that somebody's playing, 2024. They'll be here in 2024. And those
Well,
are
we
the
had that. We had that with the Pearl Jam here in Argentina.
Mm.
From 95 to, I don't know when they finally came. I think it was 2007. But from 95 to 2007, it was, okay, this summer Pearl Jam comes to Argentina. This summer Pearl Jam, and they never came.
Yeah, and that band especially was one that I loved. Like those first 3 or 4 albums to me are always golden. And I've seen them 3 times, 4 times maybe. And something magical has happened every single time I went. Like they would be playing Black. We saw them at Governor's Island in New York, and they were playing Black. And right before the chorus hit, like it opened up and started raining. So I was like, but nowadays I can't listen to them really. Nowadays,
No, why?
I've tried. It's just to me it doesn't feel like the same music.
Yeah, it's not. They grew up. It's like Metallica, or I don't know. Maybe it happens to every band that goes the distance. Unless you are, I don't know, the Rolling Stones or one of those bands that keep making the same music, like the Ramones. The Ramones did the Ramones did the same music from start to finish. The Rolling Stones the same. But there are some musicians that they need to do something different, be it for better or worse, because if you listen to Metallica, you listen to, I don't know, Justice for All, and then the Black Album, and then you go to maybe Load or Reload or Saint Anger, and you say, okay, there's an experimentation here, but probably they shouldn't have gone to Saint Anger, for example.
A couple of glimpses of what you wanted to hear from them in a few of those songs, but for the most part, no.
And then there are people that you want them to experiment. Because, for example, one of my favorite bands is Tool. And they took like 11 years to release a new album. And then you listen to it and you're not happy if they haven't experimented with anything. If after 11 years they release an album that it's maybe kind of like the last one, then why wait 11 years? But then they release the album that they released, and okay, thank you. You're pushing it forward. You're pushing the envelope. You're bringing something new to the table, and that's a part of the.
Okay, so let's since you brought that up, Tool is one of my favorite groups also. Top 3 Tool songs for you?
I think the first one I have to go Lateralus.
Okay.
Third Eye, probably, and Numa from the last.
Numa's a good one. Numa's a good
Numa. Invincible is too, from the last album, but Numa is my wake up song every day.
That Invincible song for me at this age, like I didn't really like that album. I didn't like that album until I heard that song, and that song just is one of those transcendent things. Like for me, and I'll sing that 13-minute song 15 times in a row.
Yeah.
I like that one. The Patient.
Yeah.
Is my favorite, one of my favorites, and 46 and 2. And I will always go. In fact, I saw them last time I saw them was 3 weeks before COVID hit. And their set lists don't change much, and I don't care. I will.
Why would you?
They'll change one song in the whole, the whole concert, But yeah, Perfect Circle was another good one too.
Yeah, and Pussifer too.
Pussifer, yep. Hey, go check out Scott's Big
Hey,
D.
Scott.
Scott put a video out about his Big D.
Yeah, Tool is one of the bands I have to see someday in my life. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I've seen them 4 times, 5 times. And the thing about Maynard is well, the last one wasn't that bad. He'll paint himself blue and come out in a pair of tighty-whities, and he'll tuck himself behind a speaker, and you'll never see him the whole show. So
it's his gimmick with Tool. With Pussifer, he has the gimmick that he dresses up like a cowboy or as a secret agent or as a hillbilly. And I think the most standard Maynard look is a perfect circle.
Yeah. And even then, his leather pants will have buckles on them.
Yeah, but I think he enjoys the performance of it.
Yeah.
He likes it. And you blame him? He's having fun. He's doing whatever the fuck he wants. He can do Pussifer albums. He can do a Perfect Circle albums. And then he can wait 11 years to release a Tool album.
It wasn't worth that.
Yeah, and they dropped they passed the ball. Okay, it's them that they are not finishing the music. It's Maynard that doesn't come to the rehearsals. It's okay, whatever. Release a fucking album.
Yeah. Give us our damn music. All right, so I guess we'll wrap up on this one. Is there any? Let's hear your go-to. If you leave the house and you want to put music on,
Tool.
It got to be Tool.
No, it can be Lamb of God. It can be Pink Floyd. It can be Haken. Haken is one of my favorites that I discovered recently, a couple of years ago. It's prog metal too. It can be, I don't know, Pantera, Megadeth, or maybe some Juno Reactor that is kind of tribal electronic music. I enjoy that too.
Yeah,
how about you?
Like I said, I have that one 3,000 favorite song list, and I'm just going through, and that runs everything from Adele to whatever's band starts with Z. I guess Zebra's a hair metal band. If I go to the gym, I have to have my headphones, because if I don't have my headphones, there's no way I just leave.
There's no going to the gym, yeah.
Yeah, and it's that playlist is all about, Rage Against the Machine, Pantera, Mudvayne, just anything that's I call it angry white boy music.
Yeah.
Some hip hop makes it on there too. But it's mostly angry white. A band called E-Town Concrete kind of mixes the two, hip hop and angry white boy music. So, but it depends.
You listen to songs. I cannot listen to just one song. I try to listen to the whole album. I'm kind of square like that.
It's hard. It's hard to find a whole album that I can go through that I wouldn't skip a few. So that's why.
Oh, okay.
What one I skipped? Queens of the Stone Age. Their last album is one that I don't have to skip any. I don't think, one of those rare few.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, I'll get on my kicks. Like lately, I've been into the old salsa music. I'll play my Elvis Crespo or El Gran Combo, something like that. I'll listen to. See, there's another good one too. You guys are lying. But to show you how much of a Rage Against the Machine fan I am, don't get too happy, guys. Anger is a gift. And I put that right over my heart because I was angry.
Oh yeah, Angry Heart.
Yeah. I mean, but whether it's angry, sad, happy, you want to bang a girl you're with and you got to put some Sade on. That'll work. But for me, like, if somebody says they don't like music, I'm like, how are you even
alive?
How are you even? Yeah, how are you even a human being?
Yeah, I know people that don't hear music. I from my wife's family, there's a household that every time we go to a meeting or a dinner, a birthday, there's never music playing, never. And I find it so bizarre because they are happy people, they are party people, but not musical party people. They are a different kind of party people, alcohol party people, food party people, but no music, never. And if you put music, eventually the wife or someone will tell you, "Can you lower it down because it's bothering me?" What the fuck, man? The only song that's allowed on basically to play from beginning to end, it's Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes because Aldo, the dad, disguises himself as Santa on Christmas and uses that song as his I don't know why, as his Santa song, and he gives the gifts with that song playing on the background. But that's the only song they listen to once a year, basically.
You know what's really
ironic? Really,
that is weird. Like, to me, that doesn't I can't even reason that. And what's really ironic is we could have had music playing in the background the whole time.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because StreamYard has the music option. Well, we will have to do another musical episode.
Maybe we'll keep that for our space racism.
Yeah.
We'll have racial comments strewn about in the background as we go on. Yeah, Everclear is another good one. For me, it was Summerland is one I like. Oh, that music's terrible.
But there's a lot of things we can talk about, because we can talk bands, we can talk music experiences, we can talk the approach. How do you approach a music playlist for every situation? Because to not torture someone, for example, when you have a lovemaking session, you need to be very careful with what you choose. You know, because I used to date a girl that she put the. Do you know Alejandro Sanz?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a Spanish guy, and she loves him, but I don't. And she used to put the whole album for when we were intimate, and oh God, it was harsh.
Trying to find you the song that I liked the most to get busy to.
Oh, it all depends it depends who you are with, because there are people that can rock to some Pantera, then some Coldplay. Maybe there are some other people that prefer a Perfect Circle. Some King Crimson. I have found people enjoying King Crimson, which is a nice surprise.
King Missile.
Yeah,
King Missile, detachable penis is always a good one to play in the meantime. Is it this one? No, not that one.
Are you aiming for a copyright strike?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're about 550 off, so. There we go. There we go.
And with that, people.
Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by and talking music with us for a little bit. Sorry about my technical difficulties as I'm checking to see if you guys can still hear me.
Yeah, we can. Don't worry. Things happen.
Yeah. Avoidable things can happen. But one other thing before we go. I shall not forget.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot. And I am the one who sent you the link.
One of Ignacio's only sexy suggestion. Let's get to it.
Yeah, this is a Mad Cave anthology. Lower Your Sights. It's in benefit of the children in Ukraine. It's Mad Cave. It's partnering with a Children Foundation, and all the proceeds from the comic go to feeding kids and teaching kids art and giving them psychological support in this time of need after or during the war times. I was part of this. I am part of this anthology with Brian Hawkins. We did a 4-page comic about child soldiers. I think it's the most depressing comic I have ever done, but there are things that need to be done and things that need to be said. I didn't know the lineup for this comic until the pre-order release, and I have to say I'm pretty stoked because I'm sharing the anthology with pretty big names in the industry. So I'm glad that I'm not promoting this just because I did something there. It's a good cause, and there's some really huge people giving their time and their art for this anthology. So check it out if you like it. It's for a good cause.
And the link is in the chat now, and I will be placing it up there once the video is done. Yeah, like I said about my boy Ignacio, catch him now before he gets too big, people. Every week it's a new he's on something new.
Yeah, I got a script this week, and I got an outline for a 200-page, 160, 200-page graphic novel. So I'm really excited. I'm receiving more information, which is awesome.
Look, and it just brings a smile to his face talking about it. Look at that. Yeah. How could you not love
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like Morrissey.
Right. He just wants to know whose beautiful house is this? Whose beautiful wife? But yeah, I guess that's it, everybody. Ignacio, anything else you got going on? Anything else you're looking forward to in this week?
I want to get rid of this sinus infection feeling from the COVID. Finally, it's going to be a week. That's my main concern. But I hope I can read something because I haven't read anything this week. I know Righteous Thirst for Vengeance is out, and I wanted to read that so bad, but I haven't find the time yet. How about you?
Yeah, issue 9 I think just came out. I have to pick it up. I forgot about picking it up this week. But if you get a chance to read 8 Billion Genies, has been fantastic. I love that series.
Yeah, I like the issue 1, so I'm going to read issue 2. Yesterday I thanked Taylor Winder because he does his review show, and I told him, dude, I haven't been able to read anything this week, so I appreciate that you took the time to do these reviews. Okay, that can be done.
You know where to reach him. You know where to reach him. And I don't know how this would work. We text somebody, it goes to voicemail. I'm not sure I think those two are mutually exclusive. So
I don't know, DJ, what are you talking about? But hey,
sometimes I don't think he knows what he's talking about. But I will tell you what he knows how to do. And he knows how to run a channel membership. Today is the last day for you guys to join, if you have not joined already, to join either the Link Squad or the Legion.
Or both.
Join both. You get 5 chances.
Five chances. 2 for each channel and 5 if you're in both channels.
2.5 chances for each channel. Make 5. Yeah, that drawing will be the first week in September, if I'm not wrong. Wow, summer's not halfway up. It's our first week in August. Sorry, first week in August.
Yeah, you have to be from June and July. You have to be a member during June and July. So that's why you say today is the last day to be eligible to win an Ultimate Fallout 4.
CGC 9.4. Some other cool stuff going on. Yep, it's in August, first week in August. For some reason I thought we were in July already, but that's tomorrow.
Almost.
Tonight, Dale Suspense on Gary B's Usual Suspects on the hot seat. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Alan Rue talking about Heroes Con, which I missed due to the damn COVID. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Alan Rue's channel. Some of my favorite people will be on there talking about their experience over the past weekend and how Chip got pregnant. I think that's it.
By Remy, and that we'll probably have a Let's Talk About It tonight.
Yeah, and they'll definitely need to talk about it. And my man Jason is trying to get to Dale to change his last name from Dale Wooster to Dale Bester. So we'll go from there. Hopefully that'll catch on. Dale's a good guy.
Hey, start a hashtag.
Hashtag space racism. That's it for us, guys. As usual, thank you guys so much for coming out and talking music with us today. We love you all. And
thank you, guys.
I guess we'll play the outro. As you can hear me.
You guys already saw it? Let me see it. Oh, shit. Oh. Y'all see that?
So, Tyler, do you want to build a snowman to blow away all night? It doesn't have to be a snowman. It can be me.
I'll be clipping that too.